She's finally coming, folks. After years of fan demand, Carol Danvers, better known as Captain Marvel, is ready to make her debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe next year with her own solo movie. Audiences are super curious about her following the post-credits tease in Avengers Infinity War, so we've put together this video to help you understand who Carol Danvers is and her history in Marvel Comics. Let's start by getting into the Captain Marvel movie, which stars Oscar winner Brie Larson as Carol Danvers. The project is being helmed by directors Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, who previously helmed notable films such as Half Nelson starring Ryan Gosling and Mississippi Grind with Ryan Reynolds and Ben Mendelsohn. Speaking of, Ben Mendelsohn is set to play the yet-to-be-confirmed villain in the comic book feature, which has an all-star cast attached for a special period adventure set in the 1990s. Plenty of MCU veterans are set to reprise younger versions of their characters, including Samuel L. Jackson as a two-wide Nick Fury, Clark Gregg as Phil Coulson, Lee Pace as Ronan the Accuser, and Jaemon Hounsou as Korath the Pursuer. They are also joined by a number of newcomers, including Jude Law as Mar-Vell, Annette Bening, Gemma Chan, McKenna Grace, and Robert Kaczynski. The film's central plot is being kept a mystery, but it has been confirmed that it will feature the first big screen appearance of the Skrulls, a shape-shifting alien race from Marvel Comics. Beyond that, we have to hope it will also answer the question of where she's been this whole time, and at least partially explain how she will return to Earth for Avengers 4. Marvel fans have spent years arguing about the most powerful hero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it generally comes down to a debate between the Hulk and Thor. That's a conversation that fans could have for hours, but those sick of the argument will soon see it go away. Why? Because Captain Marvel will apparently be able to kick the snot out of both the giant green rage monster and the God of Thunder when she is at full strength. Back in late 2016, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige specifically referred to Carol Danvers as the most powerful character they've ever introduced, and even went as far as to say that it made her a challenge to adapt. It's hard to know if we'll get to see this fully powered Carol in Captain Marvel, but considering that Avengers 4 will be set 30 years after those events, we can assume that she'll be more than ready to kick some Thanos ass when the time is right. Created by Roy Thomas and Gene Colan, Carol Danvers' introduction to Marvel Comics was a part of a Captain Marvel adventure, though this was long before she took on the moniker herself. Instead, this was the superhero identity of Mar-Vell, a member of the alien species the Kree, who was originally sent to Earth to spy on humanity. In an attempt to blend in with humanity, Mar-Vell took on the identity of a deceased scientist named Walter Lawson, who worked at the Air Force Station at Cape Carnival. He meets Carol Danvers because she is stationed as the security chief there, guarding a top-secret project that just so happens to be a destructive Kree automaton called the Sentry. Continuing as a representative for the Air Force, she appeared again when Captain Marvel got his own comic, which led to a major change in her life. In 1969's Captain Marvel number 18, Carol Danvers is hit by a blast of radiation from an exploding Kree device, and while she's initially injured, she walks away from the incident in the end with some incredible abilities. Nearly a decade after this event happened, Carol Danvers returned to Marvel Comics, and she was written to have incredible strength, speed, stamina, and durability. She can also fly, but while that was initially said to be a part of the mechanics in her costume, a second exposure to Kree radiation made it a permanent gift. She has what is initially called a seventh sense, a precognition of upcoming terrible events, and later it was introduced that she can manipulate energy, both absorbing it and projecting it through her fingertips. And also, let's not forget, she's a trained Air Force officer on top of everything else. In Carol Danvers getting her powers, the radiation was a catalyst, but it was really because of Mar-Vell that she changed the way that she did. Because of her proximity to him during the aforementioned explosion, their genetic structures wound up melding. This means that Carol Danvers is not just a human with Kree abilities, but a full-blown human-Kree hybrid. Her adventures have regularly taken her into outer space for battles in the cosmos, and the assumption at large is that this is where she has been in the time since Tony Stark first announced that he was Iron Man and ushered in the Age of Heroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I am Iron Man.
As mentioned, it took nearly a decade for Carol Danvers to return to the pages of Marvel Comics following her accident, but when she did, it happened in a major way. In 1977, the publisher launched a Ms. Marvel series, which saw Danvers as the protagonist working as the head editor for a women's magazine. While Carol Danvers was not the first female character to get her own Marvel comic, her solo series did arrive at a very important time, specifically during the feminist movement. The mere fact that she was called Ms. Marvel was a statement being made by the company, and she was actually advertised as the first feminist superhero. Carol Danvers technically first got the name Captain Marvel during the House of M storyline, where the name was passed down to her by Mar-Vell as she established herself as the most popular superhero on Earth. Really though, it was in 2012 that she fully adopted the mantle. This move is part of a brand new Captain Marvel series written by Kelly Sue DeConnick and drawn by Dexter Soy, and she has gone by the name ever since. At this point, it's unclear how the Captain Marvel movie will address the name change, but at the same time, it doesn't really need to. Carol Danvers might not be a captain in the Air Force, but Steve Rogers wasn't a captain in the Army when he became Captain America. With Jude Law playing Mar-Vell in the film, it is possible that he will simply hand the title off to her. During her years on the page, Carol Danvers has been a part of many different organizations, including S.H.I.E.L.D., A-Force, and even the X-Men, but in the context of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, really only two of them matter currently, the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy. She's been a card-carrying member of both groups at different times, helping to save lives both on Earth and in the cosmos, and that's important to recognize when contemplating her potential big-screen future. Carol Danvers has certainly had plenty of Earthbound adventures as both Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel, but her Kree genetics have also seen her fly out into space to take part in intergalactic conflicts. It's very possible that we could wind up seeing her in both capacities in the years to come, particularly because of James Gunn's comments regarding the development of Marvel Cosmic in Phase 4. In this way, she's a very narratively flexible character, and that just makes her that much more exciting. That's everything we currently know, but hopefully now you're as excited as we are for Captain Marvel, which is set to be released on March 8th, 2019. For more on all the entertainment news that you care about, stay tuned to CinemaBlend.